Good morning, traders, and welcome back. I hope everybody is looking forward to the upcoming NFP, which should be coming out today. We've been seeing some interesting things happening in the euro-dollar pair, and I generally go back to this one, especially when trading the NFP, although anything with the US dollar would be fine. But let's have a look at this chart here. We can see that since Thursday, the 19th of April, we've had quite a sharp fall off here on the euro against the US dollar itself. Now, the US dollar has had some negative news, but with all the turmoil happening in euro, things have been even worse for them. Don't worry, it's not like a massive recession time yet, but the euro has been struggling quite a bit. We can see that the short actually started a few days before, but they did manage to have a rally where things kind of evened out, and then from the 19th it's been pretty much downhill all the way. We can see that we've had consecutive lows forming, which if you're not even looking at the news, if you just pure 100% technical analysis, you can see quite clearly that we have descending lows the whole way down. If we take this as the last high, we can see that we've had descending highs the whole time. This one is sticking out, but it's not a confirmed high. Yeah, maybe it is. We'll put that down. That one's a bit iffy, but it doesn't really change anything. It doesn't change our opinion at all. We can see that we have lower highs as well as lower lows. So if you 100% technical analysis, you would say that this is going to continue going down. And if we zoom out and have a look at the bigger picture, we can see here on the 27th of March already, we started having quite a sell-off. This was the highest it's been in quite some time at about 1.24777. Even if we zoom out more, we'll see that we have not been at this rate for a very long time. I mean, this is back to 2015. So this is relatively uncharted territory, but it's coming back into a zone where we have a lot of information. So the price action traders, you should be able to start picking up some very nice trades going forwards. Let's go back to the 1 hour chart and have a closer look. The greenback has returned some of its earlier losses after the weaker economic data that came out. And this is why we're seeing the chart sort of continue the short position coming down, because it means that the US dollar is strengthening against the euro. So remember, when it's coming down, we look at the currency on the left, which in this case is the euro. It means that it's weakening compared to the US dollar. But now let's have a look at what we're hoping. If you haven't already, you should go to jpmarkets.co.za. If you look underneath education and go to economic calendar, you'll find this calendar here. And the event that we're looking at specifically is coming out at 2:30 South African time. It is the unemployment rate as well as non-farm payrolls. These ones don't really play a massive role. It's really the non-farm payrolls is the most important, and followed by the unemployment rate, but they usually go hand in hand. Let's have a closer look at the non-farm. The last result came out 103,000 new jobs created in the sector. They are forecasting 189,000. Now remember, the important thing is what is the difference between actual and what is forecast. So if we click on this, we can go and have a look at the history, and we can see just how wrong they've been in the past. For example, the last one that came out in April, the forecast was 193,000, actual is only 103. Now, I don't need to tell you that this is a massive difference. And if we look at March, the forecast was 200,000, but they came out with 313,000. So it's not like some of the news events where the actual comes out and it's generally very close to the forecast. Very often this one is far off. I mean, in February here, 184 to 200, you can see that this is sort of within 10%, but even this is a reasonably significant difference. 190 to 148, that's huge. 200 to 228, that's significant but not massive. 310 to 260, that's a big difference. So we can see that they do very often get it wrong with the forecast on the non-farm payrolls, and not only that, it is sometimes horribly wrong. Now, how we can use this to our advantage is that you very often see a knee-jerk reaction happening inside the markets. Whenever the news event comes out, and let's say the forecast is, well, let's look at the actual forecast. Here we go. The forecast is 189k. Now, if the actual comes out to, let's say, within 5% of this, so let's say it's between 180 and 200, then we wouldn't see a massive difference. But if we get a change like we saw here, where say it's 193k and it only came out to 103, so let's say this one only comes out to 110k, well, that's a huge difference. And we're going to see a lot of people getting rid of the US dollars, and you'll start seeing the market sort of shunt in a particular direction. Just keep in mind that the NFP is a knee-jerk reaction. You see very volatile movements in both directions, being up and down. This is why the trading strategy that we have in the online course is one of the more fun ones to do, because you're kind of hedging your bets. You're placing the two pending orders, so you're catching whichever direction it starts running off into, and then, you know, grab some money on the way there. If you're playing more of a long-term game, especially the price action traders, people trading off the 4-hour charts and that sort of thing, then you'll want to hold off on the NFP and rather give it an hour or two before you're seeing what direction the market is settling in. But this is definitely a good potential for a turning point. Let's have a look at the technical analysis again, and we'll see if this line might actually be a turning point. See, we've had quite a lot of data around here, not exact hits, but we have seen a fair bit of movement around this price range. So this could end up being a somewhat decent long position, but you would not want to enter that until you've seen the results from the NFP. Right guys, look, I really hope you enjoy this Friday afternoon. I hope you managed to get some time aside. Remember, open up your charts at about say 2 o'clock, and if you can, just keep an eye on it and watch how the markets go absolutely ballistic.